Welcome to the Clique podcast. I'm Dani Watson, a mindset and manifestation expert and founder of the Clique, a company that helps women overcome their fears and limiting beliefs to create a life and business that they love. Within this podcast, I will help you get clear on what you want, identify the blocks that are holding you back, transform your mindset and raise your vibration so that you can co-create magic with the universe. If you are looking to design a life that truly sets your soul on fire and manifest more success and abundance, then you are in the right place. Hello ladies, good morning and welcome to this week's episode, which I am recording from the beautiful location of Mallorca, which for those of you who aren't familiar with Mallorca, it is an island. It's part of Spain, it's part of the Balearic Islands. It has beautiful, beautiful beaches, beautiful scenery, and it is a place that myself and my family are potentially looking to relocate to. So the reason actually we're here at the moment is we've been house hunting. This is our second trip now, trying to find a house. So we're currently looking at, now we've changed our tact a little bit. We're actually looking to buy now a plot of land where we will actually build our dream home here on this island, with the idea that we will then one day move here full time. Now, the reason why I thought I'd kind of share this information with you guys at the beginning of this episode is because for this episode, I want to talk about some of the changes I've been able to manifest in my life since becoming a coach. And the first, perhaps one of the biggest changes for me has been more freedom in my life. And the fact that I'm able to move myself and my family out here and we can work from wherever we want and we can be based wherever we want has been a really, really big thing for me. Back before I became a coach, freedom was something that I really, really craved. And I'm sure there's a lot of you perhaps feel this way, especially for those of you who are in the 9 to 5, right? Where it seems like your life is just the same day in, day out. You know, it's that same monotonous routine of daily commute, going to a job, perhaps doing the same things over again in that job, coming home, having that same routine. And there's something to be said for routine. I think there's ways in which routine can really serve us in our life. But for me, I hated that feeling of being trapped, of feeling like somebody else was in control or was dictating my life for me. And this is something that often happens when you're in a job without that freedom. You know, you feel as if you are living life by somebody else's rules, okay? So for me, becoming a coach, a big part of the change that I was able to manifest was more freedom into my life, the freedom to work where I wanted, do the work that I actually wanted to do, but work when and where I wanted, okay? Now, that freedom and what that freedom means to me has changed a little bit since I started on my coaching journey. So when I first became a coach, freedom for me, I really wanted to live that laptop lifestyle. So many of you may be listening to this and maybe you're either thinking, I'd like to become a coach, or I'm starting on that journey, and you see other coaches and they're perhaps working from Bali or they're traveling quite a lot with their work. Maybe not so much in these current times, given, you know, COVID and perhaps people aren't being able to travel so much. But obviously this isn't going to be a forever thing. Hopefully things will get back to normal as soon as possible and everyone will be able to travel again. And maybe this is something that you're really craving as well, this freedom element. So for me at the beginning, freedom really did mean this laptop lifestyle. And one of the biggest changes for me was when I quit my job, and it was not even a year into my business, my partner was also able to quit his job as well. So obviously it was great when I was able to quit my job, but I couldn't really go anywhere given that my partner he was doing an electrical apprenticeship at the time. We were living in London and he couldn't really go anywhere. So it really was him being able to step away from his job as well, where the freedom thing really kicked in. And this was one of the biggest changes I manifested since starting my business. The ability to work from where I wanted, when I wanted, and in a way that I chose. And so when he did quit his job, we embarked on this incredible trip. It was before we had children, so we had a little bit more sort of flexibility with our time and how we could spend it. And it was a little bit easier, I'm not going to lie, traveling when it was just the two of us. And so we went on this amazing trip. We did spent a bit of time in California where we were hosting a retreat, actually. It was an event for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. It was all about mindset. And I hosted that with another coach. So we had this incredible trip around California. We also ended up spending a lot of time in Bali. Back when I first discovered the coaching industry, I'd been to Bali before, and I always knew that I had sort of this connection to the island. There was something quite magical and special about that island, and I always knew that I would return there. And when I first got started in the coaching industry, it seemed like a lot of women were living from Bali and working from there. And so I had this real craving to spend more time in Bali. So freedom for me was being able to say, yeah, let's go there. Let's book a one-way ticket, and we'll kind of just go with the flow and just figure out how much time we want to spend there. And that for me was so magical, that ability to just take my work with me, just pack up my laptop, knowing that I could work from these amazing locations. I still have that freedom now. Obviously, it looks a little bit different because I now have, at the time of recording this, I've got a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. So, we're not kind of, traveling and changing hotels every 2 days and doing this sort of more of a backpack nomad kind of lifestyle. When we travel, it tends to be, okay, we're going to be in one place, just because it's easier for the children if we're not kind of moving around too much. But as I said, at the moment, we're here in Mallorca, and the fact that I'm able to choose a place to live, which I really love, a place that really sets my soul on fire. Mallorca, I'm by the beach, it's sunny, it's not too far from, my parents back in the UK. The fact that I can take myself and my family here and we can live here and we can all be based here and work here and we have that freedom, for me has become really, really important. But the freedom as well to choose to create my day how I want to create it, okay? So, back when I was working in a job, I couldn't just do a yoga class in the middle of the day, or I could, but, it would have to be like on a lunch break and it would have to be very rushed and it would be stressful because I'm like, oh God, now I've got to get back to work, and I couldn't just finish work, let's say decide to finish at 2 p.m. because I wanted to go off and do my own thing for the afternoon. Okay, so it's this freedom to really design your ideal day and work in a way that feels really good to you and allows you to be there for yourself and for your family in a way that you want to be. So something that's really important to me is having the freedom to be there for my kids and be fully present for my children. Okay, so working when perhaps my daughter's at nursery or when they're older, when they're at school, or, working in the morning and then I have the afternoon off to really kind of be present with them. That freedom for me is so, so important. And so that's one of the biggest changes that I've been able to manifest. Now, another change that I have been able to manifest since becoming a coach is the people that I've been inviting into my life. And this is so important because we are the product of the people that we spend the most time with. And a big part of becoming a coach is really stepping into your fullest potential, okay? And a way in which we can do this is by surrounding ourselves with people that lift us higher. Now, when I first became a coach, first of all, I didn't really know any other coaches. Obviously, I'd seen women online that were coaching and I knew, from people's Instagrams, other women that were within this space, but I didn't necessarily personally know them. I certainly didn't know anybody in my real life who was a coach, and I actually didn't know anybody that was an entrepreneur either. And so I found myself kind of in this position where nobody around me seemed to get it. okay? And I knew that for me to really move forwards with my dreams of becoming a coach, of becoming a business owner, it was going to be really beneficial for me to have other women that were on the same page, that really understood this industry, that were also committed to their own personal growth as well, that were perhaps also entrepreneurs and valued the same things that I valued. Basically women that were on this path with me. And so one of the other amazing changes that I've been able to manifest since becoming a coach is my network of people that I have around me. So whether this is other coaches, other business owners, other people within the personal development space, just people that are also committed to living their best life. They may not necessarily be business owners. Manifesting these types of people into my life has been amazing. And what I've actually experienced here is really the universe seemingly just dropping me amazing people into my life without me really having to do much. Okay, and this is the beauty of manifesting change, is that sometimes we don't have to do anything for the change to happen. We just have to put our intentions out there to the universe and let the universe do its work, work its magic. So, I've said to the universe, okay, I would like for me to have within my network of friends and, connections, inspiring women that are achieving amazing things. And I set that intention to the universe. And once I did that, I started to find I would have people reaching out to me either via Instagram or via email, people that wanted to connect and people that have now become a really integral part of my circle. But what I was saying about the universe working its magic, remember that manifesting is a co-creative process as well. And it also often takes us stepping up and taking that action as well to manifest our dreams. So it's not that I've always just waited for people to drop into my lap. There have been times when I've taken inspired action to put myself out there and to make connections. So it could be, going to events I wouldn't normally go to, or, me myself being proactive and actually reaching out to people on social media, So remember that manifesting isn't always just about doing nothing. Sometimes it is, and magic can happen from simply you just being and putting your intentions out there. But it's also a product, as I said, of co-creating. When you take inspired action towards getting what you want, you will find that the universe matches that by giving you even more. So every time I've taken inspired action, let's say, for example, to build a new connection, so maybe I've reached out to somebody via Instagram, I will find that that supports me in making these amazing connections. But equally, the universe will then show up and say, well, look, I can match that. And here's somebody else you might want to get to know. Okay, and that's the great thing about manifesting, is that we've got this support of the universe. It's not just our job to get to our desires. We are being supported in that process. Now, I definitely couldn't have recorded this episode without mentioning money. It's something that I've spoken about a lot. Changing my relationship with money and changing my financial situation has been one of the biggest shifts I have manifested since becoming a coach. So I have to mention it here. Now, if I'm being completely honest, when I first decided I wanted to become a coach, I obviously had these sort of big dreams about, becoming wealthy, but I think at the time it all just still felt like a bit of a pipe dream. And I'm sure for anybody that's just discovered the industry and you're perhaps seeing what other women are earning online, it perhaps still feels a little bit out of reach for you. And that's completely normal. I felt that way as well at the beginning of my journey. When I saw women making, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures even, I was like, oh, that would be amazing. But there was still a big part of me that just did not believe that that was possible for anyone. Not for me, but not for anyone. I was like, wow, how are people even doing this? Like having so much fun, doing this incredible work, but also making amazing money. I couldn't get my head around it at all. But money was something that I knew I did want. And at the time, I think to be honest, I was just happy to be able to make enough money so that I could step away from my job and become a coach full time. Okay, but money has been, and I've been very open about this, it's been one of the biggest changes that I've manifested since becoming a coach. And my business now typically will make in a week what I typically would have made in a year. So it's not just even a little change when it comes to my finances. We're talking huge leaps here. And a big part of this, a big part of how I've been able to manifest the money, if you've not yet listened to it, I would definitely suggest checking out the money mindset episodes that I did a while back, where I talk about money mindset and the work that I've done to change my relationship with money and to change my beliefs around money. So it's not just being about, okay, well, I've started a business and, that's kind of what has helped me change my finances because I'm doing something different. You could start a business, but you could still be struggling with money. You could become a coach, yet still be struggling financially. Okay, there's a lot of coaches out there that perhaps aren't necessarily making the money that they want. Okay, and this is the thing about the coaching industry. A lot of people get caught up in the money and what you can make and how amazing that is, and perhaps sometimes see it as this easy get rich quick scheme. You can change your finances and you can do so very, very quickly, but it is certainly not a get rich quick scheme. Okay, there's a lot involved, should I say, to get you to a place where you are earning and it's incredible money and it's supporting you in the way that you want financially. And again, this comes back to, it is less about what you are doing, but it's more about who you are being. Going back to what I said, lots of people start businesses that aren't financially successful. And it could be that they're in exactly the same business as somebody else. They could also be a coach and also offering a very, very similar service. What makes somebody else be able to make money versus somebody that doesn't? And for me, this is where the money mindset work really, really comes into play. It's not necessarily about what you're doing, but it's about who you are being. And a big part of me becoming a coach is changing who I am, changing what my beliefs are, changing what my identity is, how I show up in the world, okay? And that's the thing for me that's helped me make the money. Not necessarily, okay, I've started a business in a pretty lucrative industry and that's helped me change my finances. It's the belief work for me. That has been the thing that's made all the difference. I also think a big part of manifesting money as a coach is leading from that desire to be of service. Of course, the money is important to me. I'm not just doing this for a hobby. I'm doing it to support me, to support my family, but I'm also doing it to make an impact, to really help and transform the lives of others. And for me, that's the thing that I'm really, really passionate about. And I know that the making the money, the byproduct of that is that the more money I make, the bigger of an impact I can make, right? Because my business can grow, I can reinvest back into my business to make my programs more and more incredible. And that is then going to have a ripple effect onto anybody that I work with that comes into those programs. So for me, the money is really first and foremost about being of service, doing what you love and having that passion to really help others. And I find that when you lead from that place, the money will naturally follow. Often when we're chasing the money, when we're coming from that place of fear or panic or desperation, I need to do this because I need to make money or I need to change my finances, that lack energy often just creates more lack. Okay, so showing up and coming from that place of love and passion and being of service, that is when the money will start to come in. Okay, so let's move on then to the next biggest change I've manifested since becoming a coach, and that is really about the work that I'm doing. The ability to be able to do something that I love and I'm so passionate about day in, day out. Way before I discovered coaching, I was deeply unhappy. In fact, I spent most of my 20s just feeling so lost in terms of my purpose, in terms of my career, and just not knowing what I wanted to do with my life. And I'm sure so many people find themselves in this position, especially if you've perhaps gone to, university and thought, okay, I'm going to do the whole sort of corporate route thing, go to university, get a job, work my way up the career ladder. Often it's so drilled into us that is the path to becoming successful that we don't question it. And we often just jump on that train without really asking ourselves, is this being true to me? Is this really a path that sets my soul on fire? So I found myself studying law, Really didn't enjoy it one little bit at university, yet still embarked on that path. I still decided to take that even further. I went to law school. The idea was to be this corporate lawyer and work my way up the corporate career ladder. And I didn't ever once take a step back and ask myself, like, is this really making my heart sing? And if I was completely honest with myself, it definitely wasn't. Okay, so the biggest change for me was being able to step into a career where every day I am doing things that I would choose to do, even if I wasn't getting paid for it. So coaching others, honestly, when I'm in a coaching session and I'm coaching my clients, I almost enter into this flow state. You may have heard people talk about this flow state, and for ages I didn't really understand what it meant when people said they were in this flow state. It's almost like when you're so just caught up in everything that you're doing and loving what you're doing that you just don't notice anything else going on around you. You're just in the flow. You're just doing it, and it just feels natural, and it feels effortless, and it feels fun, and it feels joyful, and you get this sort of fuzzy feeling in your tummy as you're doing it. That for me is flow state. And I find that a lot of the things that I do, the work that I do, whether it's coaching my clients, whether it's recording these podcast episodes, maybe it's writing content, writing my book, I feel myself entering into this flow state. And that's something that didn't come straight away. That's something that's definitely developed over time. Certainly when I first started out as a coach, it didn't feel like a flow state because I was learning and I was kind of second guessing myself, and I was still, working a lot on my own mindset. So it's taken me a while to get to this stage, but this for me has been a huge change that I've manifested. Being able to step into my work with full joy and appreciation for what it is that I'm doing, rather than that feeling of dread and, oh God, like another day at the office. Don't get me wrong, I love spending time with my children, but when I get those moments where I can go to my office and I can shut that door and I can just know that I've got, a few hours to myself to do the work that I really love, oh my goodness, like that feeling is incredible. Now, the final change that I want to talk about that I've been able to manifest since becoming a coach is the change within me, the changes and the shifts that I've witnessed within myself. And I would say that this is perhaps the most important change. The most important change for me, and I think for anybody that embarks on this entrepreneurial journey, this journey to becoming a coach, I promise you the biggest shifts you will probably experience are the shifts that you make within yourself, in terms of your own confidence, in terms of your own self-belief, your own self-worth, how you're able to show up for yourself. That for me has been the biggest thing. And I think it's the most important because at the end of the day, let's say, you get to the end of your life and you're kind of looking back that all of you've been able to accomplish through your life. Yes, of course, things like the money and the success, like those things will be amazing, but it's who you are in that moment. That will be the thing that really kind of blows you away. That's kind of the only thing that you're left with at the end of the day, that who you've become, the woman that you've become. And so for me, it's the woman that I've stepped into. This has been the most important thing. It's been the foundation for all of the other changes that I've been able to manifest since becoming a coach. And it's why the mindset work is so important. It's why the mindset work has to become a non-negotiable as you embark on your journey to becoming a coach. Now, I say I've manifested these changes. Obviously, I have shown up a lot for myself. I'm the one that's been doing the work on my mindset and have committed to my own inner change and transformation. I've been the one that would, get up early in the morning to do my mindset routine or, do that routine before I go to bed. So I've taken a lot of inspired action to make these changes happen for me. But I've manifested it because I've definitely been supported by the universe along the way. Remember what I said earlier. If you take one step towards change, whether it's changing your mindset, changing your finances, whatever that change may be, the universe is always going to match that step. It's going to support you in co-creating your desires. So when I've done things that have really helped me with my confidence and my self-belief, I know that the things that I'm doing, the universe is paying attention. the energy that I'm putting into myself, the universe is then going to match that. It's almost like doubling my efforts without having to double my efforts, okay? And so this is, again, the beauty of manifesting change, okay? Rather than just doing change for yourself, manifesting means taking the support of the universe. So let's say, for example, I'm showing up on a daily basis and I'm visualizing the woman that I want to become. I'm visualizing the confident, successful, abundant coach who's living her best life. That's me showing up for myself. But what I'm doing is I'm putting that energy out there. When I visualize that version of me, I am sending that energy out into the universe. The universe sees that and gives me that energy back. And so over time, I find myself gradually stepping into this higher version of me. Now, one of the ways that I found the universe has supported me in stepping into my highest power is by sending me experiences that have allowed me to become the woman that I am today, that have shaped me into the woman that I am today. And often these experiences are sometimes disguised as setbacks or failures or struggles. And often when we have these things, we say, why is this happening to me? And my favorite phrase to ask myself is to say, well, how is this happening for me? And seeing these experiences as gifts from the universe, even when they may not necessarily feel like a gift. And here we're talking about manifesting change in who you are, okay? Becoming the woman that you're meant to be. That woman is not going to be a product of your wins. She's going to be a product of the times when you have struggled the most, okay? So often when, we are experiencing some sort of setback or some sort of failure, it's how we move through that allows us to fully step into our power. And so I see these setbacks as, gifts from the universe. I see it as the universe in supporting me in becoming the woman I am meant to be. Now, if you've been listening to this episode today and you're thinking, I like the sound of some of these changes that Dani's been able to manifest since becoming a coach, and you're perhaps thinking, I would like to embark on this journey for myself. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to check out our free Become a Coach course. If you go to wearetheclique.com/free course, so that's wearetheclique.com/free course. You'll be able to sign up for that program for absolutely free. And inside, it's going to give you the foundations for getting started in your career as a coach. So it's going to teach you things like how to coach, how to start your business as a coach. It's going to go into the mindset of becoming a coach. So there's lots and lots of juicy wisdom in there. So if you've not done so yet, make sure to sign up for that. And I will connect with you again on the next episode, ladies. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will speak with you all again very soon. Bye. If you are wanting to build your own successful online coaching business, make sure to check out Freedom, Abundance and Impact, our free 10-day business and mindset course for coaches and aspiring coaches. To access, simply head to wearetheclique.com and click free course in the menu.